Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us 25th of January and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with instead of GFS and ECM ensembles. May run to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us well into February. I should get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that first, the video today is our 6 AM UK weather forecast. So please check that one out. Like, share, subscribe on all today's videos and content. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. I just explained what happened yesterday, so you'll have noticed that there's no 10 to 14 day or Sunday evening live stream. Yesterday, I had a humdinger of a migraine on Saturday night and Sunday morning, and I just laid up. Basically, I just spent the whole of yesterday sleeping. I spent the whole of yesterday asleep, really. So that was the reason, you know, I was just absolutely wiped out by it. So I'm just gradually getting back into the land of the living today. But you know, it's something that I suffer with, and you know, migraine has been ongoing. I think I'm about 14 years old on and off, so I'm used to it. But like the one weekend was particularly nasty. So that's the reason why. So sorry, everybody. Gradually getting back to the content now. Hopefully, we'll be okay to live stream on Wednesday. But thank you so much for all of your lovely messages of concern and support. Incredible. Thank you so much, everybody. Right, going to start off with this. This is coming from Weather is Cool. Look at this. Solar winds are about to go into reverse. We're about to have a major southern stratospheric warming event with a reversal of solar winds at 10 HPA over the Arctic and the North Pole. So the zero line there showed that the green lines, which are the GFS ensemble levels, they're all dipping down just under zero lines, telling us that the GFS ensemble members 100% of ensemble members are going for a reversal of zonal winds. If we get rid of the green lines just above them, you can see we already have quite a weakening, a reduction of the zonal wind at 10 HPA. But again, putting in the green lines, you can see that they're dipping down very brief, just like 24 hours or so for a reversal, and then popping back up again, actually strengthening, becoming quite strong in about a week's time, going back up around average anyway, but then possibly dropping out again as we go towards the end of January. Now, this reversal it's interesting because this reversal isn't happening due to any particularly notable warming, although we are still above average with the temperature at 10 HPA there. This latest GFS run, we still have the displacement event with the blue curves, the polar vortex at its roots pushed out into the North Atlantic and northern parts of Europe. So that's still ongoing, but we get this next warming here that penetrates in from Russia and Siberia. Again, that one's relatively modest, but that's the one that's going to actually send the solar wind into reverse and just about split the PV as well. So it also will get a very temporary split of the polar vortex around 20th of January. See the two loads of blue there dividing over the pole. Then the polar vortex starts trying to reform again and getting back towards the top of the pole around 23rd. That's as the solar wind, as we see on this chart, starts to strengthen back up again. But most of this reverse is actually being caused by what happened like a couple of weeks ago. Remember, we had really quite a big warming of stratosphere a couple of weeks ago, which didn't reverse the solar wind in its own turn, but did weaken it a lot. And so this next warming in Chile that's coming up in about 2 to 3 days' time, because the solar wind has already been weakened a lot by the warming a couple of weeks ago, then that's the one that's going to, you know, technically be a major southern stratospheric warming event. But it was really the warming we had a couple of weeks ago. That's how we finish up 31st of January, just signs maybe of another warming beginning to pick up over Russia there. But also signs that the polar vortex may be starting to reform and regroup and re-strengthen a little bit by the end of January as well. So it'll be interesting to see where we go into February. But yes, a major technical major southern stratospheric warming event in about 2 or 3 days' time looks very likely. 100% of GFS ensemble members are going for a reversal of solar winds, only lasting for about 24 hours. And then we see the solar wind strengthening back up again. We'll keep you informed. Right, this is our latest temperature observation looking from XC weather. Very cold day out there. Still sub-zero in the north, or more or less. Got Spadalham at -1. We've got Newcastle at +1. We've got Chatterhall at 0 degrees. We've got Aviemore at -1. We've got Loch Glasgarnock at -2. And we've got Oughar at -1. So very cold up in the north, barely above freezing or below freezing. Further south, we've got Nottingham at +2. We've got Leek at -1. Church Lawford is at +2. We've got Little Rissington just at +1. Luton at +1. Kenley just at +1 degrees. Farnborough +2. London Heathrow only 3 degrees. That's cold for there. Lynham +2. And we've also got Lake Burby at 0 into Wales. Down in the far southwest, that's where the mildest weather is. Chibnall is at +6. And we've got Exeter at +6 as well, I think. And we've got Cardinham at +6 too. And up to Belfast, we've got Belfast at +3. So it's a cold afternoon out there. And, of course, we've been talking about this cold weather in the video, so the past week or two, the Arctic blast has arrived. The rest of the week will be cold up to the weekend, and then things will be turning milder. So it's going to knock the CT on the head. So currently, the central temperature is sitting at 4.4. That's only about half a degree above 61 to 99 average. That's visual to yesterday, to the 14th of January. That's going to be coming down more, though, by the end of the week. It'll be interesting to see where that is by Friday. It might just about drop down into 2s by Friday, so about 2.8, 2.9, something like that. But it will be interesting to see how low that goes. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Northampton today, local town to me, but actually this is a suggested location that I noticed from somebody in the comments, so I haven't put this in for myself, but as it is local to me. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton. See, we're starting off very cold over the next few days up to the weekend. See, temperatures way below average, better recovery. The upper air temperature take place over the weekend into the last week of January. Actually looking quite mild there with above average temperature. The thick green line, which is the GFS operational run, actually becomes quite, it's not an outlier, but it is at the warmest end of the ensemble range. So it might not become quite as wild as the operational run is showing there through the last days of January. But it is a milder outlook, definitely, through the last week of January. So the topsy-turvy winter of 2023-24 continues. Precipitation-wise, lots of dry weather with these cold conditions being turning more unsettled as we go through the last week of January, particularly around this period just here. So anywhere from about the 21st to the 26th, 27th, that window there looks quite unsettled. Maybe even stormy, maybe even a little bit of a hint of a deluge returning. Beyond that, into the closing days of the month, possibly getting a little bit drier. Snow road for Northampton looks like that. Pretty grim. When you think a few days ago, looked very likely there'll be significant snow from this Arctic blast. Well, that's fizzled out, certainly for Northampton. So nothing doing there at all for snow really over the next couple of weeks. So the wait continues for us in Northants to get some decent snow. Temperature anomalies from the 15th to 21st of January, colder than average, not just for the UK but for most parts of Northern and Western Europe as well. And precipitation anomalies from the 15th to 23rd of January, though near normal for southern and eastern regions, a little bit drier than average towards the northeast, wetter than average out to northwest. Expect these anomaly maps to start trending wetter in the coming days. Latest print from map from Earth from northschool.net shows that whilst the snow risk to the south anyway has pretty much fizzled out, we are bringing in this long fetch northerly. If we drag the map down, you see that the air is originating all the way from the Arctic Circle, proper polar origin air plunging southwards through northern and western parts of Europe. And that's why the next few days are going to be very cold. And that takes us nicely onto the chart data. So this is our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking midnight on Thursday. Real old northerly pushing down across the country again then. But low pressure might have given a snow event around the middle part of the week going into France there. So that's the reason we're staying relatively dry. But normally could deliver some snow showers even in the south by Thursday. But chance of like persistent snow has gone now. You know, that's not happening. That's going off into France. We go through into Friday. We've got a little ridge of high pressure then through the country, so mostly dry, still cold on Friday, but not for long, or not for much longer, I should say, beyond that, because low pressure from the Atlantic started coming back in. And check this out. By the end of the UK Met Euro run, it gets midnight Monday, looking very stormy. The Deluge is back then. 975 millibar area for low pressure. That is sweeping through the country. Severe gales on the southern side of that low. Real battering. And notice downstream there are more areas of low pressure as well. So the Atlantic strikes back. The Atlantic strikes back. The Deluge returns there with the UK Met Euro run, as does the stormy winds. I can't again with this big northerly blast still continuing on Thursday. Then we go through into Friday and a little transient ridge. Low pressure event is back in business through the weekend and on into next looking stormy. The low pressure UK Met Euro run has through the centre of the country midnight on Monday. Icon has to the north of Scotland, so that brings the battery of severe gales to the northern half of the country, Scotland and northern England. But either way, looking very unsettled and stormy. And wet and windy, you know, all of that by the end of the weekend. And that takes us into next week. There's another low there as far as we get to with Icon downstream in the Atlantic. That almost certainly, no question about it, has our name on it. The KMA from South Korea looking like this. Again, northerly winds continue through the end of the week. Then we turn wet windy over the weekend. That takes us into the weekend. Proper battering going on. Then look at that, 22nd of January. Look how tight packed those isobars are for England and Wales. These will be named storms again, I suspect, if this comes off. So a severe gale blowing down in the south. And yet another one pushes from the 23rd of January. That one looks ferocious as well. And then higher pressure can start trying to build, though, right at the very end of the KMA run. So we start turning drier and colder, probably, with frost and fog returning by the 27th of January. As this area of high pressure tries to start getting going. And a Scandinavian high, it would need to be much further north, to be a Scandi high. So no real cold with that, but so it would be a bit colder with overnight frost and that sort of thing. The GFS midnight run, again, has in that northerly blast of Thursday, ridge of high pressure through the country on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, unsettled. Not as stormy as some of the model output for the weekend, but certainly unsettled with spells of rain anyway. And then looking pretty stormy by the beginning of next week with that low around Iceland. That's bringing a proper spell of wind and rain sweeping through the country. Day 10 keeps you unsettled where we go. Notice the ridge building over Europe, though. That's possibly bringing something dry to the south. It is a very mild pan that we've got going on there by day 10 with the GFS midnight run. And then on to the extended, well, look away now if you want cold weather. This draws up like a southwesterly from the Azores, so we've got southwest winds pushing up here, bringing probably an exceptionally mild end to January. We finally finish up under a bit of high pressure, but still very mild by the last day of the month. The GFS V2 again with that big northerly blast on Thursday, but a slight transient ridge through into Friday for wet and windy weather's back in over the weekend. Looking a little bit stormier with the GFS V2 compared to the midnight run. So that's 6 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, 21st January. That looks very wet and windy. Look at that low, that being a rainstorm, if it verified. And then another big low coming in from Tuesday. Again, that brings a real battering across the country. Heading up toward day 10, higher pressure then begins to build up from the south, so we start to turn drier and very mild. Again, exceptionally mild actually, with those long fetched southwesterly winds once more. And we finish up with the GFS V2 looking like that. So we're trying to raise the heights to the east and the northeast, but deep low pressure still in the Atlantic, keeping unsettled, but also mild conditions going with winds in from the south and from the southwest. If you're enjoying the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much everybody for doing that for us. We need to put on around 20 subscribers. That's all, probably about 18 or 19 subscribers to get ourselves to 17.8k. If you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that would be incredible. We will thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, GM again with that northerly blast on Thursday. Very cold then, I should say, but a transient bridge for Friday before we go back to milder, wetter and windy weather over the weekend. Looking stormy there by the end of the weekend. Gales or severe gales, but also very mild southwesterly winds for the weekend. And then on into the end of the week with the GM, the unsettled weather is set to continue with low pressure remaining in control of the weather right the way up towards day 10. We keep low pressure pushing through the country here, so no real break with the GM up to day 10. That is the chart for day 10 from the GM. And again, it looks unsettled. Low pressure is still pushing through. Maybe not quite as stormy, perhaps, as some of the model output is looking today, but it is an unsettled and mild GM run we got there. And then the ECM finally to round it all off looks like that again. The northerly blast continues on Thursday, comes to an end on Friday. Milder, wetter and windy weather back in for Saturday, so unsettled through the weekend with spells of rain, quite a deep area of low pressure punching through there on Monday. That's bringing more gale force winds with it, and then on into the day 9-10 period, well, the unsettled conditions continue with further spells of rain, possibly just a little bit of a hint perhaps by day 10, but we start to raise the heights slightly, so possibly turning a little bit drier by day 10, 25th of January, but we've still got deep low pressure out in the Atlantic there. Bit of a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TibetShow.com. So we have got some significant snow to come from the northern half of the country from this northerly tomorrow as a little system pushes in off the Atlantic. That will bring a survey into Scotland and also northern England. Meanwhile, the rain that might have delivered a widespread survey for England and Wales mostly goes into France, although a little bit of snow is still being predicted there by the ECM along the south coast anyway on Wednesday. It might be a little bit of snow down on the south coast, but basically most of that snow is over on the continent. Bad luck for us. Weather gods never seem to play ball, do they, when it comes to getting snow across the lowlands, southern England. Very disappointing. Snow showers continue around those coastal fringes, so might push some snow showers inland maybe around Thursday, but then the mild weather starts getting back in. So over the weekend, the greens turn back to blue, turns wet and windy through the weekend with quite a bit of rain. Look at that area of low pressure from Sunday into Monday. Very unsettled conditions, and on it goes right the way up towards day 10. Just a little bit drier, maybe, by day 10 itself. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 25th of January. 17 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure reaching up from the southwest, bringing mostly dry but also mild weather for day 10. Still lots of deep low pressure in the Atlantic, though. 16 with high pressure over France, low pressure to the north. That's going to be mild, driest weather will be in the south. 11, very similar, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. Up come those west southwesterly winds, and 7 with high pressure reaching up from the south, bringing mostly dry weather. And all options are mild or very mild there at day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It's going to get us to the 30th of January, more or less 2 months then. 21 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure just to our south and east, mainly dry and also very mild. We've got 17 with high pressure just to the south, so mostly dry and mild there. We've got 8 with high pressure more through the country. It's still a mild scenario, but perhaps some frost and fog due to an inversion might be possible, and 5 with high pressure just out to our west and northwest, mostly dry, and perhaps a little bit on the chillier side with that as well as winds come in more from a northwesterly direction. So looks very mild for day 10. By the end of the month, we might be looking at something a little bit drier and cooler from frost and fog, but there's no sign of high pressure returning back to the north. up to the end of January. So there's no sign before month's end that we get another spell of notably cold weather. CFS V2 finally beats a 500 millibar high tolerance breaking down into week periods. The first week's period will take us from the 15th to 21st of January. But next week looking very unsettled. The low pressure is in control of the weather. We know it's going to be turning stormy by the weekend. Week 2 will be the 22nd to 28th of January. Again, low pressure out in the Atlantic, high pressure down towards Spain. They'll combine to be very mild with wind direction from the Azores, but also unsettled. Week 3 will be the 29th of January to the 4th of February. Just signs of some higher pressure starting to build up in the south bend. Still very mild when coming up from the southwest, but maybe drier, particularly for the south. And then week 4, possibly a hint of something colder. This is the 5th to the 11th of February. High pressure band is over towards Greenland, and low pressure setting up over Scandinavia again. That could start pulling wind back round into the north once again. So as we get into February, we might be looking at a return of some colder weather. But before then, once the next few days out of the way, from the weekend onwards anyway, it's looking very mild. February overall looks like that the CFS today. Remember, these change daily. But today's 700 millibar high to anomaly goes high pressure blocking around Greenland and Iceland, and winds probably coming in from a north or northeast direction. That should deliver a colder than average month. Temperature anomaly showing no signal really, but it should be colder than average with that 700 millibar high to anomaly. And precipitation lastly is average to drier than normal. We'll see. Okay, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please you like, share and subscribe. But show everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. As I say, we only put on around 20 subscribers, less than that actually, about 18 or 19 I think, to get ourselves to 17.8k. So please give us a sub. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, okay, so just coming up on the channel tomorrow, we'll have a 6am UK weather forecast. We're going to have the extended EC 6 weeks look ahead, 30-day look ahead, flash 6 weeks look ahead, and there'll be a 10 to 14 day or two. So keep checking back to the channel for more. For this one though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.